Well, well. Guys, welcome back to the Chasing the Dream podcast. Welcome to season 4, episode 1, episode 29 of the podcast. Guys, welcome back. It's been so long since we have done one of these things. Today is just me today. I don't have a special guest. I don't have a co-host with me right now. It's just me. I kind of just wanted to go through and update you guys on everything. It's been 4 months since we've made a podcast episode. The last episode that we actually posted, let me pull up the YouTube real quick. Which before we get into talking about the majority of this stuff, guys, please follow us on every social media platform known to man. We are on almost every platform. I'm gonna say. I think we're literally on every platform. Sorry, I literally forgot the list of our platforms. It's been so long. Give me 1 second, y'all. Sorry, it's taking me like a hot fucking minute. But, it's podcast life sometimes. So guys, you can find any of our episodes from episode 1 to this new episode that's going to be getting released on Anchor, Google, Apple, Facebook. It's not going to be on Facebook, but we also have our social media platforms where we're going to be talking about, what episodes are coming out, who's going to be released onto the pod next, and who's going to be on next. So if you guys want to know who the next guest is going to be and who the next person is going to be, since now we're in the return of the podcast, you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and you can listen to us on Spotify, Google, Apple, Anchor, and for unreleased podcasts and other things about the podcast, we are also on Patreon. So you guys can go on Patreon, you guys can listen to unreleased, unedited podcasts for $3 a month with a 7-day free trial. So if you guys do not like what you're getting for content on the Patreon, you can stay on there for 7 days free. After that, you're getting charged $3 a month. That is the cheapest you're ever going to get for a Patreon ever, in my eyes. We are on there for decent reasons. But yeah, $3 a month, but you get a 7-day free trial. So if you don't like it, you can cancel it anytime before that 7 days comes up. Because once that 7 days is over, you'll be getting charged $3 a month. Not expensive, not cheap. Try to make everything cheap, especially how this world is pretty shitty with prices lately. Anyway, but yeah, guys, we are back on the podcast for season 4. What is plans for season 4? You might be thinking. We don't know yet. We don't have any plans for season 4. I think season 4 is just going to be another one of those where we're just going to wing it. I think we're just going to keep grinding the pod. We're going to keep getting some people on. And we're going to enjoy our time, and we're going to have some fun with it. I know it's been crazy lately. Especially in my life, it's been really crazy. A lot of things has happened in that time period, which is really nuts, in to say the most part. I don't know where to start, really. I mean, we took a 4-month break. The last episode that we did before we left for that 4 months, we released 2 episodes close around the same time. It was talking to Hypno and also Jordan. We were talking to Jordan. We were talking to Hypno in 2 separate podcasts. And then a little after that, we had King Dead on. I believe that was King Dead's first episode of the podcast. I believe that was his first episode, if I'm not mistaken. It was crazy. We definitely gonna have to plan the next person on the pod. So this way here we can get guests back on and we can get rolling into season 4, and we're gonna start this season by just talking about what happened. I mean, there are a lot of things that happened. I am okay to talk about now. We're also getting back in the grind of YouTube too. Like, we're going back on my gaming channel. So if you guys have not checked out my gaming channel, it's called GoldNinja03 Games on YouTube. Go check it out. We just did a live stream yesterday talking about a little bit about things, and then I started promoting a podcast episode where I'm talking about my life and what happened and why I went away. And this is that episode. So that's a lot of trauma dumping in this episode, which is all right. But we're definitely going to talk about the podcast real quick before we get into the trauma dumping, and the depression and everything that went along with it. But yeah, definitely Where do we start with the podcast update? Podcast update. Again, we're just gonna wing it to season 4. And then season 5 will come up with a bigger plan. But I think right now for season 4, I think we're just gonna do what we were originally doing in season 3, continuing where we left off in season 3, and just continue grinding with some guests. I think season 5 though is gonna be definitely a little bit bigger. I have a little bit of a plan for that one. I kind of want to try it for season 4, but I think season 4, I think we should just ride it out for right now until we actually get back on the grind and we get back up there. So I think the plan for season 4 is gonna go right into season 5, and we're just gonna see what happens. But as of right now, season 4 is gonna be the same thing as season 3, 2, and 1, where we're just gonna chill, talk to some people, have some fun with these people that we're gonna have on this pod, and we're gonna go for it. But I think that's the plan. Yeah, definitely gonna think that's the plan. For sure. Definitely a big deal being back on this podcast, because if you guys don't remember, we were shooting the ladder. We were going high up this podcast, and then I just dropped everything. Reason for the dropping. Sorry, I'm texting my group chat right now. Sorry. But anyway, let's dive into the trauma dumping. How long is this episode going to be? Don't know. It's already been 7 minutes, and I'm already silent because I still feel like I'm a noob. But no. So let's get into the trauma dump. God damn. What do we go with? What do we go with? Um, what do we start? Do we want to start in the beginning? Yeah, we'll start at the beginning. So, as you guys knew, I was in a 5-year relationship. Some of you actually did, some of you didn't. But I mean, some of you were part of. Wow, I just gagged. What the fuck? Sorry, give me a second. That was weird. But yeah, some of you knew I was in a 5-year relationship. For the most part. Some of you don't. Some of you are from like Golden Joe 3 Games channel. A lot of you knew I was in a 5-year relationship. Sorry, the dogs are going to be going crazy. Not as bad as I thought they were going to be. But anyway, let these dogs bark. Anyway. Where were we? Yeah. So I was in a 5-year relationship. Big time in a 5-year relationship. Moved out everything. Very, very serious. One day things just seemed really off, and just, in the span of like 2-3 weeks, it was just so off. It was just really off, and I was kind of getting a little concerned. So I texted her when she was at work. I'm like, hey, we got to talk about some things. And then that day, we literally broke up that day. And I was still living at the apartment. I was getting my stuff ready to go, but I was taking my time so me and her can have the last few moments together. Because obviously, didn't think about anything. Didn't think about anything. Didn't think about what she's doing behind my back. It's a big time thing that I was thinking about a lot. So then we ended up living together still for a little while. for the majority. And then one day, something in my gut just felt weird. And I'm going to tell you guys this right now before I keep diving in. I can remember this day like it was yesterday. Like, it's crazy. I've already trauma jumped on my new girlfriend, and I felt so bad for her, which, shout out to her, by the way. I know she's probably not going to listen to this because she does know about it, but I don't think she's going to listen to it. But shout out to her. She's literally like the love of my life, man. She's great. I can't ever ask for someone better. She's fixed me to the man that I wanted to be, and she's encouraged me to do things that I've been wanting to do. And this is just one of the things she encouraged me to do and get back to doing. So shout out to her. All you out there, thank her because she's making me do this again. Anyway, but something just felt off that day. So, we went to the beach, walked around for a little bit, came back, we started watching a movie. She was getting tired, she was sleeping. I'm like, how about you go to bed? We both go to bed. And she forgot to mute a chat with this guy. And I go into it, and I caught her cheating on me. Now, I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to do that. I'm not like that. I just needed a trauma dump episode so you guys know what happened. But anyway. But yeah, I caught her cheating on me. We were living together for 4 months, together for 5 years. And damn, did my life take a turn for the fucking worst after that. After, me catching her, I don't want to go into detail about the catching part. All I know, a lot of yelling was happening, and I kicked her out that night. I stayed up all night. I was up from the time that I woke up the following day, and then I didn't go to bed until almost 11 o'clock the next night. Didn't touch anything, didn't get anything unpacked. I've been doing that lately, obviously, because I wouldn't be doing this right now. I wouldn't be recording this episode. But yeah, a lot of things happened that day. Got help from my friends, old friend that kicked me out of her life as well. Help from Colby and help from my dad. So shout out to Colby and my dad for helping. I would say shout out to the other person, but the other person's a bitch. So I'm not gonna shout her out for that, but yeah. But no, shout out to Colby and my dad, dude, for helping me get out of that apartment and helping me move out. But yeah, definitely a lot of things have happened after that. Like, she was threatening me to go to court for a cat. She was also, kind of just being weird to me and kind of fucking with me in a way. Everybody knew she was doing it. And again, I'm not going to name names. Some of you already know who she is. Some of you don't. And I already know she's probably going to be listening to this and she's going to get mad at me for it. And she's probably going to tell me to take it down. Just an FYI, I won't. I can do whatever I want in my life, my podcast. I could talk about what I want. It's done. It's over with. Time to move on. I just want a trauma dump. And I also just want to tell them what the fuck happened and why I was gone for a while. So get used to it. This is the only time I'm talking about it. We're done. Anyway. But yeah, I mean, it was definitely a lot because I had to move out of my apartment. I had to get a storage unit. It was just insane. I didn't think I was going to have to deal with that ever in my life. But after all that, I went spiraling down. I took an LOA off of work, a week LOA off of work. Lived with a bitch for a little while. But during that, I was also heavily drinking and smoking weed every single day of my life. It wasn't easy. My mind was going crazy. There was moments in my time, in moments where I wanted just to end everything because I couldn't do it anymore. There was times where I didn't think I felt appreciated, felt loved, felt cared, which was another reason why I kind of just wanted to end everything. So I had those moments. there was also moments where too it was like I wanted that bitch back. Like I wanted to date her again. I wanted to get back together with her, which never gonna happen again. Learned my lesson, not to trust people like that. Obviously too, I have major trust issues now. Again, like I said, I feel so bad for my new girlfriend because I have these trust issues where I feel like she's gonna cheat on me. Like I have these weird feelings, and I know in the end of the day she's not gonna do that to me. She is the most loyalist girl I've ever met in my life, and I believe everything she tells me. But there's still times where I have a hard time with it. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I'll get through it. I'll get over it. And she's there to help me. She's there to help me get out of that. And I am really excited to see what's going to happen in the future for me and her. But yeah, so like it got to the point where I was heavily drinking and smoking weed every single day of my life. Before work, I would go in and get high, and then come back and get high. Then I'd come home. Dinner comes. I'm drinking a bottle, another bottle. I'm getting drunk. Drinking with my friends every single day, having a little drinking party. Constantly drinking, constantly getting drunk. So I didn't want to feel the pain, and I was over it. I didn't care anymore. I did that for a while. And it wasn't the healthiest. I wasn't the healthiest at that time because I also wasn't eating a lot either. Because I couldn't eat because the smell of food or just, anything of food. Anything of food was just fucking making me feel sick. And I just didn't want to eat. So I didn't do any eating. All I was doing was drinking alcohol. And then it got to the point where I chugged the Smirnoff, 2 shots of vodka. Felt great. And then I took off driving. I took off driving. That wasn't the smart idea at all. That is a big regret I have right now. Every time I think about it, it hurts because I was so stupid. I don't know why I did that. But I drove from my hometown all the way to a different state and back, which was crazy. So crazy. So stupid of me to do that too. It was definitely a regret, big regret, and that's when I decided to sober up. Haven't smoked weed in about 5 months. I still drink, but it's not as heavily anymore. I did drop it for about 4 months prior, but I'll have a drink once in a while. Last time I drank was about, I would say, probably 4 or 5 weeks ago. So the alcohol is never really in the picture. I'm healthier. I'm going to the gym. I'm eating healthier, drinking more water. I'm drinking, healthier drinks, and I'm feeling good. And I'm very, really, really, really happy. I got this beautiful, amazing, gorgeous woman in my life, and I'm excited to see a new future with. And I'm going to be back on the grind of the podcast. I'm going to be back on the grind with my gaming channel. Maybe my vlog channel too. I'll figure that one out in a little while. But I think focusing on the pod and my gaming channel are the 2 main things I want to keep going with because those are the 2 most biggest things other than my vlog channel. But yeah. Yeah, a lot happened, as you guys can tell. Obviously, there was more stuff that did happen in the process, which I do not want to talk about because, yeah, that's just something that I'm never going to talk about because it was just the childish fucking shit. It was so childish, this fucking girl, dude. I don't understand anything, and I don't understand people. And I just don't understand why people start things and why people just want to do things like that. Like, I never understood. I don't understand things. for the most part. But I hate to do it. I do have things I got to get done today, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll just make a 20-minute somewhat episode, and then we'll come back to like longer episodes. But I am gonna end this podcast here. I had to do the trauma dump. Obviously, I'm probably gonna do another episode like this, but with somebody, and somebody can ask me questions about anything, and I can answer them really well. I don't know yet. We'll figure that out in a little while. But I figured, let's open up season 4 with a trauma dump and why I left. So that was the reason why I left. I was dealing with that. I was dealing with being cheated on, dealing with moving out, dealing with this, dealing with that. So I stopped doing everything for 4 months. But we are back now, and we're going to make up that 4 months for both gaming and podcast. So, guys, highly suggest you follow us on every platform. Follow the podcast on every platform. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow. Be a member on the Patreon. Do that stuff, guys. It's going to be greatly appreciated, and it's going to be really fun. So stay tuned for episode 2 of season 4 of this podcast. Episode 30 is going to be a great episode. We're gonna plan some guests. We're gonna plan a guest for that episode, and we're gonna get back into it. I miss you guys, and I love you guys. Thank you guys for waiting for so long. Thank you guys for keep supporting the podcast as well while I was gone. That was amazing. Don't know how I can repay you guys for that, but besides just keep grinding content out for you guys and keep making podcast episodes for you guys. But we were gone for a little while, and you guys were listening to the pod. You guys were really listening to that podcast. And it was really greatly appreciated. You guys were just listening to the podcast while I was gone, and it was amazing, and I thank you guys for that. You guys were giving us views on YouTube. You guys were listening to us, giving us listens. Guys, by the way, while we were gone, we ended up actually hitting a big milestone when we were gone, and I wish I was there to celebrate. But this podcast, in total, besides the big following that we already have on Facebook, on Instagram, on Anchor, on Apple, Google, you name it, besides this big following that we got, we ended up hitting big milestone of 331 plays. Big applause for that. We ended up hitting 331 plays while we were gone in that 4 months, which I couldn't thank you guys so much enough for that. But now we're going to keep grinding. So guys, hit the follow button. Let's grind. I think the next milestone we should do is we should hit 100 followers on every platform that we are on. Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, every platform. Hit the follow button. We're going to try to hit 100 followers while we're back in season 4. And maybe we won't end season 4 until we hit 100 followers, and then we'll open up season 5. So we'll figure it out. But guys, let's try to get to 100 followers. Would be greatly appreciated. And I'll see you guys in the next episode of the podcast. Guys, keep chasing your dream. And we'll see you guys later. Love you all.